Hello knitters, Phelan from Strands Knitting Studio in San Clemente, California. And today I have still what's on my needles and some yarns and ideas that I didn't talk about last week, so stay tuned. My shawl is off my needles, but it's at home needing to get blocked. So hopefully it's blocked next Wednesday and I can show it to you with Thursday and I can show it to you. But I sort of picked up the socks again. Remember how I was saying the heel thing was weird? It is. It's a whole different kind of heel. So, and I also realized that my brain was definitely on vacation when I had started these because my stripes weren't the right number of rows. So I did 4x4 stripes and they're really 4x6 stripes, and it actually sort of makes a difference, especially once I get to the heel part. The only reason I figured that out was once I got to the heel part, the pattern wasn't working out the way she was saying it should work out. So then I'm like, okay, what am I doing wrong? And then I realized, oh, the striping, I didn't stripe it correctly. So I need those 6 rows of the red. So it's 4 rows of the right, 6. I need those 6 rows to make the heel work correctly. So guess what I had to do? Yep. Pulled it all the way back out to here. And then, yeah, So, you know, trials and tribulations, and yeah, my brain was definitely on vacation in Morro Bay on my vacation. It was not thinking. Okay, so these are 2 amazing yarns that we have in now. So we have a cashmere, 100% cashmere. It's Cardiff brushmere, which means it's been brushed. So the cashmere has been brushed, so it's on the fuzzy side. It's cashmere, people. We have 5 colors. These are our 5 colors. So what can you do? So 50 grams, this is like about 55 yards. That's all this, no, is that right? Was it 50? Yeah, about 50 yards. This is about 50 yards. So what can you do with 50 yards? Well, we have this one cowl, and Christine right now is knitting this up. So this is a 1 skein cowl that you can do, and she's knitting it up. She's put it on bigger needles. I don't know quite what she's on, a 9 or 10 or something. So open it up some and have the yarn go further so that you actually get something like this. But can you imagine cashmere? So perfect, fabulous little gift that would be knit up so fast. And it's cashmere. Now, if you wanted to do something a little bit bigger and you wanted to use 2 skeins, you could do a longer, like the Sophie scarf, that kind of like the little net tie ones that are all over Ravelry. I mean, they're everywhere, and there's lots of different kinds that you could find one of those to do. You could also do with 2, you could also do a pair of fingerless mitts. And hold on, I was gonna find these, hold on. So these are the Linda mitts we've had out for a year now, where they're done flat. That was the good part. It does have a lace pattern. You don't have to do the lace pattern, but it does have a lace pattern. And in the cashmere, you know, it'll be fuzzy, but it'd still be really pretty. So these you could do with 2 skeins. And if you didn't do the lace, yeah, you could do these with 2 skeins. And it would be beautiful. So that's another way. And then you can also just make a plain pair. You know, this is just rib. This is like a 2x1 rib, which 2x1 ribs are really nice because you don't get quite the rib look, but still they're ribbed. So they sort of hug your hand. So just even a simple little like this, and that you sew up, or you could do it in the round. If you can do it in the round, you can do it in the round. But this, something simple like this, I mean, you don't have to do it much because it's cashmere. There's not much else you have to do. You want to keep it pretty simple and streamlined. And mostly if you want to do a scarf, a little scarf or something, what you want to do is do a little swatch. And I'm saying this more and more, especially with shawls and scarves and stuff like that don't have a gauge that you have to worry about. You do a swatch to get the fabric you like. So pushing the needle up as far as you can, and you like the fabric, it doesn't break down and get too loosey-goosey. But the bigger you can push your needle, the farther your yarn goes. The smaller your needle, the more yarn it takes. So when you're doing something like a scarf or something, I always push up. And with something like this, where I've only got so much yardage, I would definitely see how big a needle I could get onto and still really like what it looks like, and then go from there, instead of doing the needle that's on the the ball band. Now, needles on ball bands, that tells you what a sweater fabric. That's for a sweater fabric. So just think of a regular, so it's just a little bit more dense of a fabric. You know, scarves can be dense too, like in a sweater fabric. But stuff like this is, I mean, this is gonna be warm, but this is also jewelry. This is like accent, right? And so you might as well just push it up a little bit and so you can get just a little bit more out of your yarn when you're dealing with these specialty yarns that are so amazing, but they're little tiny balls of them. You know, like, again, you know, 25 yards is a teeny tiny, is a 25 gram, 25 yards. Okay, editing Faylin. I'm all over the map on what I'm telling you what this yarn is. So this is the Cashmere Cardiff yarn, and it is 25 grams and 45 meters, which is about 50-ish yards. So just so you get this straight. But two, you could do two. And of course you could do, you know, you could buy 4 or 5 of them and do something. That's, of course you can do that. You could do a sweater. But if you're just thinking of a little accent something, especially for a gift, this is wonderful. And you can find some very simple things to do that would use your yarn and be fabulous gifts. The fancy yarn we have is called Basta. And this is actually a wool. So it's a 50% actually virgin merino wool and polymade. And the polymade, again, is probably structured to this yarn. This is very fuzzy, very, very fuzzy. We have 3 colors, and we have a gray. This screams a scarf or a hat or mitts, but mitts, it's still fuzzy for mitts for me. But somebody might love this. But this like screams scarf or cowl, infinity scarf, you know, that just so you don't have to worry about it. But that's what this screams for me. And this is a bigger skein, obviously. This one says you should be on a size 6. What did this one say you should be on? I didn't look. This one says, oh, yep, size 6. I would put definitely up from a 6. And that's for like a sweater. Again, that's a sweater fabric. So you can make a sweater out of this. You could have a fuzzy sweater. Wouldn't that be amazing? A cream or a gray fuzzy sweater. They're all over the place, right? So this one has, how many yards is on here? It's 50 grams and it's 100 meters. So that's about 120 yards. So, you know, like, so you could absolutely do a fabulous, but again, it's going to be a simple thing because you're not going to see any pattern work in this. So you're not going to do any pattern work at all. Mostly, I would do stockinette with maybe edges or just a simple, this pattern would be a good pattern, or because you won't really see it, but it'll make the scarf lie flat and it won't curl up. So if you only do stockinette and you're doing a scarf, you only do stockinette, the edges are gonna curl up. That's what happens. It's stockinette. There's nothing to keep the edges from curling up. So you have to do some kind of edging. Usually we do knit stitches. So it's like you always knit the first 4 and the last 4 stitches on every row. So in a knit row, you knit the whole row. On the purl row, knit 4, purl to the last 4, knit 4. Knit the whole row. And you put markers there so on the purl row you don't forget to knit them, especially at the end of the row. So again, scarves, mitts, maybe hats would be a fun hat, and a sweater, a vest, you know, just let your imagination go because it's a fun yarn. So these are the 2 more fancy, well, the luminous is pretty fancy too, the little sequins, but these are like our fun, fancy stuff for beautiful gifts that everybody loves. So soft, so wearable, so amazing. All right, it's the end of October, so I'm just gonna say it one more time. I hope you got your knits going. If you don't, I'd come in this weekend and get your knits going, whether it's, you know, 1 scarf, 2 scarves, 10 hats, whatever it is that you need to be doing. I would start doing it right now because we're getting there and it's moving so fast. I don't know about you guys, but time just is screaming by. It's crazy how fast time is moving. So that's where we're at. We have so much in the studio now. There's so many great yarns in here. Nora came out with their new magazine, and there are some sweaters in there that are gorgeous. And they have a lot of really good patterns in this particular magazine. So that's just come out. We have it. And so come in, gather all your knitted goodness for the holidays, and I hope to see you in the studio real soon. Bye.